Hello and welcome back to We Met Behind the Castle. Today is July 24th, and this is episode 4 of the podcast that will bring you all news and opinions and facts and all sorts of different fun things for the Central Florida theme parks, Disney, Universal, SeaWorld, Busch Gardens, and beyond. So let's get into an exciting episode because we've got a lot going on today. It'll be a lot of talk about D23, the fan expo that is coming up for Disney. That will be in a couple of weeks, starting August 9th, and it runs through the 11th. So it is that weekend of the 9th. We're excited about it. There's a lot of things that could be coming down the pipeline. We're going to talk about the whole schedule, run through each of the different things that the expo is going to have. So if you're heading out to D23, unfortunately, we are not, but we're going to be watching and listening from afar for all of you that are visiting and posting content. We will be consuming all of it. So I'm excited about that weekend coming up. August 9th will be an exciting day as I get to see and live vicariously through those that are going out to the expo in Anaheim. So definitely keep us up to date of what's going on and all of your experience that you have. You can even tag us or share with us some of the different things that you've seen or heard or maybe have purchased out there. There's a lot of cool merchandise that we'll get into and talk a little bit about today as well. But yeah, we're going to cover just everything that we can about D23, even though we're not going. But there are a lot of different panels and things that are intriguing to me. And we're kind of give you a little bit of a hype list where we'll rank some things on very excited, kind of excited, indifferent about maybe some things that we might pass on if we had been at the expo. But I do want to talk about all the things that are going on because I think D23 this year is going to be bigger than ever, and they have promised an experience that we have not seen yet with one of these expos. So I'm interested to see what Walt Disney World and the Walt Disney Company has to throw at us because I think there's a lot of changes coming in the parks and some updates that we've all been waiting for a long time. And that's all the parks around the world, not just Walt Disney World and Disneyland here in the United States. Also today, July 24th, the day that I'm recording this, Lightning Lane released early this morning, and everybody that went to the parks today were able to purchase their very own Lightning Lane multi-pass or single pass and use the system for the first time. This system is replacing Genie Plus. Genie Plus is now retired, and we are moving on. And I'm excited about the progress that I think we're making back towards a system that is much better and much more guest oriented, easier to use. I was playing around a little bit with the interface today, and we're gonna start by talking about the new Lightning Lane system to start this episode. So, episode 4, welcome everybody. Thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning back in. I am very excited because the coming weeks are going to be some of the best times on this podcast and on this YouTube channel and on TikTok because we have a lot of content, a lot of things happening. Mickey's Not So Scary starts in a couple of weeks here in August down here in Central Florida. Really excited about that. I know Oogie Boogie Bash will start very soon over in Disneyland in California. You've got D23. This expo is supposed to be huge, which we talked about. We've got everything rolling out. We've got a lot of exciting updates. We're actually going to head out to the parks hopefully on Sunday and try out this new Lightning Lane system and see how we feel it works. I'm going to hopefully do one of the parks such as Magic Kingdom or Hollywood Studios, I think, to try out this new Lightning Lane experience, see how it interacts with myself and just kind of the interface and how this all works. And I'll record that. I'll give some thoughts. We'll actually come back and give my reactions to the day that we spend in the park as well. So that'll be a vlog. So head over to We Met Behind the Castle on YouTube and you can find even more long form content. And I actually post the video version of this podcast. Today, I am going with just the beautiful picture of myself, not, I wouldn't say beautiful. It sounds awful when I say it like that. I'm going with just my face because usually I have slides and different things like that to kind of accompany me through this journey when we talk about all things Disney or Universal. But today I am going off of just reading the schedule and talking about Lightning Lane because I think that it would be a lot of things to consume and it would have taken me a ton of time to try to prepare for the different things that are happening at D23 because there are so many things. But I don't want to spend too much time getting into the intro, let's talk a little bit about Lightning Lane. Now, remember, it did debut on July 24th, so there will still be some bugs. Went on the app this morning. It actually has, right when you open the app, it gives you a nice tutorial on how to purchase Lightning Lane Multi Pass and Lightning Lane Single Pass. It is very easy to use. Um, the ease that it is, or sorry, the sorry if I can talk. The interface is very easy to use. I think scheduling and selecting your windows, selecting the dates in which you want to use this Lightning Lane is very easy. I think it's very comparable to FastPass Plus. So if you used FastPass Plus in the past, back before it was replaced by Genie Plus, you'll get the same kind of experiences, and I think you'll enjoy just kind of the experience that you get with this, and just how easy it is to navigate screens and find the rides that you want to do and book the rides that you want to do. So again, head to my Disney Experience app, and I guess start to play around with it. See what you can do with the app itself, and see what you can do when you go in to purchase one of the Lightning Lanes. I think that you'll be thrilled to know how easy it truly is. And I can't wait to show you guys on another video. Just as a reminder, Disney Resort guests can start to book their Lightning Lane multi passes and individual passes 7 days in advance of their stay, and other guests can purchase passes up to 3 days in advance of their park visit. So you can actually start to book them 3 days out. Resort guests get 7 days in advance to start booking their Lightning Lane experiences in the 3 windows. Those include Disney Resort hotels, Swan and Dolphin, the Swan Reserve, and Shades of Green. Everybody else that buys those tickets, the day tickets or annual pass holders, date-based tickets, those are the people that will have to wait until 3 days out before they start planning their Lightning Lanes and their multi-pass, single pass Lightning Lanes. So just keep that in mind. Resort guests, you're getting the advantage of booking it before the individuals do that are not staying at Disney resorts. So that's just an overview of the Lightning Lane experience. I guess one more thing: when you use a Lightning Lane, just like FastPass Plus, once you use one, you can book another and book another. And if you have park hopper tickets, you can actually book another experience in a different park. So, say you're at Magic Kingdom, you use your first one, which was, I guess I almost said Seven Dwarfs, but that's a different one. Say you use Peter Pan, you can then go and book another experience, and it can be at Epcot. It could be, for instance, it might be Ratatouille or Frozen, or whatever rides are available. There are different tiers. So tier one is typically the more popular attractions, where you're not going to be able to book popular attractions. You have different tiers in which you can book, and the less crowded tiers are going to be the ones that you can select from. So when you start to use them, so just be aware of that when you're booking it. There's a lot of things and nuances, obviously, but I hope to do a video again this coming Sunday that will go over the things that you need to know when using Lightning Lane multi-pass and single pass. So that way you are well equipped and ready to go when you're planning your Walt Disney World vacation. Now, I want to move on from Lightning Lane, and we're going to jump over now to the D23 Expo, which is the fan experience, the fan expo for Disney, where they make a lot of announcements. They show you a lot of things, showcase a lot of different things from the archives. And we're going to talk all things Disney coming up here in just a minute. But before we do that, make sure to like, subscribe, head over to YouTube. You can find us at We Met Behind the Castle. Share your ideas with us. What are your thoughts on Lightning Lane, and have you used the system yet? Are you using the system coming up very soon? Have you booked your next trip to Walt Disney World and you're kind of scared about the experience you might have with Lightning Lane? Let us know in the comments. And all right, let's jump into D23, a fan expo for Disney fans. So D23, the ultimate Disney fan event presented by Visa. Experience a Disney event like no other, August 9th, 10th, and 11th in Anaheim, California. All the worlds of Disney, including Pixar, Marvel, Star Wars, and more, will come together and provide the ultimate fans a weekend full of presentations, panels, experiences, performances, shopping, and more. So, um, one of these days, and I'm hoping so D23 in Anaheim happens every other year. I'm hoping in 2026 that Ashley and I will get to experience our first D23 event. I'm looking forward to going because I definitely think it would be worth it because we're both Disney fanatics. We love Disney so much, and we love just the shopping experiences, the park experiences, the food, the entertainment. Just going to Disney, it feels like home. And I think that's what D23 really is. It's a celebration for the people that feel that Disney is their home. And it's exciting because I'm looking at all these things that are coming to D23, and it's kind of a bummer because there's a couple things on the list that I know Ashley and I both would have truly enjoyed going to experience. But because of the timing and because we're hoping to take a longer trip coming up in the winter, this just wasn't, we weren't able to book the tickets in enough time. And tickets do sell out quickly. I think within the hour that they're released, they're all gone. So next year, and I was actually on top of it this year. I could have actually gotten the tickets. I was in the website, saw the tickets available, had them in the cart, thought about it. The flights were so cheap at the time too. It's, in August when a lot of kids are going back to school, so I felt like it might have been a good time to try it. But we fight on for another day. We'll try again coming up in 2026. They do different little spin-offs of these. Destination Disney, I think, is what they call it, or yeah, Destination Disney, I believe, is what the other expo is, and that's usually in between the alternate years. So, and they usually bring that to Walt Disney World, and it's a much smaller celebration. I think it's over the weekend, but I think it's less and less. I think they do some park and experience panels, but they don't do this whole expo that it's a whole weekend where it's pretty much the beginning of the day in the morning where you can go and shop and try different foods and see different booths and people that work with Disney and partner with Disney. But they don't do like the 9 a.m. or whatever it starts on, or that time it starts all the way until the end of the day when they have some of the last panels. So yeah, one of these days we're gonna hope to get over there. It just doesn't seem like it's going to be obviously this year. You can buy resale tickets, I think, but they are so expensive, and I don't think it's worth doing that. So we will watch from afar. We will be consuming again all of your content for those that are going. But let's get into it because this schedule is very large and very lengthy. So how I'm going to do this is I'm actually going to break this up based on the places in which these are located. These are all located at the Anaheim Convention Center. They've just got different areas. And I don't have a map to kind of show you, but I can tell you which stage that they're on or in which building that they're in. And we're going to actually start off by talking about the biggest event for each of the days. So I'm going to break this up by day. We're going to start by Friday, the 9th, August the 9th. The first one in the Honda Center, which is their big center that they're using to stage their biggest panels and their biggest show and entertainment thing. It looks like one per day. This is where the big thing happens that a marquee event that you don't want to miss that day. Friday, August 9th at the Honda Center from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m., which I'm assuming is, and I tried to look this up, but I think this will be yeah, so these will be Pacific time, because I was thinking about this because I had to pause the recording because I was like, wait, is this Pacific or Eastern time? This is going to be Pacific time because I can't imagine them running an event because some of these events start at 9 a.m. I can't imagine them starting at 6 a.m. So we're going to go with that these are listed in Pacific time. So this would be 10 Eastern our time on the East Coast. So it'll be interesting. There are going to be a lot of people tuning in at 10 p.m. to different Twitter feeds because I don't believe they'll let you live or that they're going to live stream the big experiences panel. It'll be just a bunch of the media tweeting out different things that they've said or some of the fans stuff that they've said because they're really strict about you videoing inside of the Honda Center, or they will be strict on that because there are certain panels they do not want you live streaming because people pay a lot of money to go to these events. So we will be getting second-hand account information from uh, media and the different people at the Honda Center that night. So again, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. at the Honda Center. This is called the Disney Entertainment Showcase. Enjoy the magic of Disney Entertainment in a star-studded showcase featuring exclusive looks at the movies, series, and stage shows you love, and a glimpse into what you can look forward to. Join some of your favorite stars as they give you a peek behind the curtain at upcoming projects, never before seen footage, surprise announcements, and special guests, musical performances, and exclusive new content coming to the big screen, your small screen, and stages everywhere. So, this is the big, obviously, entertainment showcase where they're going to be talking about movies, Broadway. They're going to be talking about maybe some entertainment internationally. I don't think that in this one they'll talk about cruise ship entertainment just because I think they save that for their cruise ship panels and some of their park experience panels. So I guess we'll find out. Um, but yeah, this sounds like it's going to be movie based, heavily movie based. We're going to get some behind the scenes things. We're going to get probably some teasers for some of the upcoming movies, maybe like a Frozen 3 or a Toy Story 5 or from Moana, like a sneak peek on Moana 2 or the live action. So all sorts of things could be coming. Get some announcements for TV shows. They'll more than likely obviously stay away from announcing anything Marvel, Star Wars, or anything that's kind of like a third party. I think Pixar they'll announce in here, along with Disney Animation, Disney Studios, because I think they'll want to use this as their Disney specific content that's coming. So I'm interested. I like this that they've broken up a lot of these different panels on different nights, and they run Friday, Saturday, and Sunday with the big three marquee events happening at those times. But you're also going to get news and breaking information from other panels and other places around the convention center. So it's not just going to be these 7 to 9 o'clock events that you're going to get the breaking news. You'll get them in some other things that we'll talk about as well. But that's the first one up. And again, I will go through the marquee event first on each of the days, but we'll continue now with the Friday events. Now we're going based on the place in which they take place. So we had an option to do it by time. So like I think they all start at 9 a.m. All the events like on the floor specifically start at 9 a.m. The panels and different things that they offer as far as experiences. I'm sure they'll let you in early to kind of experience some of the shops and different things like that if they're open early. But a lot of people start lining up and then everything really kicks off at 9 o'clock. But I thought it made more sense to go by stage so that way you can locate the stage and then you can locate the time that we talk about to go and enjoy some of these experiences. Now, some of these we'll have some thoughts on, some of them we'll just go, that sounds like a lot of fun because there's just not a lot of information on these because they want to keep that kind of behind a wall and behind the curtain so that when they come to this event, it's kind of peeling that back, right? So this first one that we're going to be talking about is called the Premiere Stage. The Premiere Stage, and I don't know again where these are located, but they're inside the convention center. The thing is huge. It's right across the street from Disneyland. When you walk by it, it's massive. But this is the Premiere Stage on Friday, August 9th at 11 a.m. You've got the music of Marvel Studios. So 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Music of Marvel Studios. Get a behind the scenes look at Marvel Studios' iconic scores and needle drops from composers Michael Giacchino, Christoph Beck, and Laura Cartman. Songwriters Christian Anderson Lopez and Robert Lopez, who I believe were also instrumental in Frozen's soundtracks. And then you have music executives Dave Jordan and Justin von Winterfeld. Marvel has some of the best film scores in all of the Disney, I guess, company. I guess they're in that umbrella. They're better, I think, than some of Star Wars, to be honest with you, especially recently. I think John Williams stuff is probably the best of the best, but I think the more recent Star Wars stuff is good. I think Avengers actually is better. And some of these composers, again, are some of the most popular composers in the world. So you're going to get to hear from them. And music and musical geniuses are so fascinating to listen to, especially with Marvel, because you're going to get stories of them working with actors and working with these characters and how do they come up and really create this soundtrack, this movement of musical notes to really embody what we experience as far as the Marvel universe is concerned. I will say the Marvel universe right now is kind of tough because there's just not a whole lot of emotional attachment. But in game and Infinity War, which some of these composers and some of these songwriters have worked on, they were really great songs. So I'm excited to hear maybe some from these composers. What are some of their, things that made them tick, or things that really they created and felt like they created? And I think there are even scenes and stuff that really they hear the music, and the music is oftentimes produced after to go along with kind of the flow of the film. But I think there's also times where the film can influence the editing that happens, right? So music, we all love music, and I think Marvel Studios has some of the best. So that's again at 11 a.m. on the premiere stage. Next up on that premiere stage, same stage, don't go anywhere, 1:30 p.m. to 2:30 p.m., 30 years of Toy Story. So this is like what I was talking about when I say there could be things that are kept from that 7 o'clock, or actually are um, that are actually presented first at this panel, that are then later maybe explained at the next panel, or maybe this panel gets the exclusive. There's a deeper trailer or something, or one of the characters, voice actors, comes in and talks about Toy Story or something like that. I think these are more individualized content for the people that are fans of the different panels that they're showing up to. If I'm at this event, this is definitely one that I would go to. Um, I think Toy Story, Ashley and I both love Toy Story so much. It means a lot to me as like my family and I grew up watching this. I really do like Toy Story a ton. Toy Story 5 coming out. I'm actually excited about it. I know people are not excited all the time about all these sequels coming out, but they continue to make really good stories and compelling arguments as to why they need to create another film for this franchise. Celebrate 30 years of Toy Stories with filmmakers and Pixar legends as they reflect on the making and groundbreaking classic nearly 30 years ago, and share never before heard anecdotes about how the historic film came to be. I know that you have to pay for this event, and that's why they don't release a lot of this information and things to the public. But like, I wish there were certain things like that they could film and release to the public that really, tell the story of Toy Story. And I actually wish that Disney would kind of, you know, create this division within their company, that or department within their company, that would really cover the history like this, and give us more of these backstories. Like, put them on Disney Plus. I would watch them. Like, I know there's like the, Imagineering documentaries and things like that, but like some of these panel titles, turn that into like a 20 to 30-minute documentary, or one of those short docs that like we can just consume as fans of some of this stuff. Because I feel like there's a missing piece between Disney's history and legacy and the fans, and there's not a revisit from it unless it's somebody else like a Lou Mangello, who does a lot of the history of Disney, or some of these other podcasters or content creators that really focus on the history of Walt Disney and the company. So, yeah, I wish they would do that, but this would definitely be one of those panels that we go and watch if we were at D23. And again, that is called the 30 years of Toy Story. I cannot believe it is that old. That is insane. Up next at 3:45 p.m., bringing the worlds of Disney animation to life in Disney parks. Okay, so this one is described as team members from Walt Disney Imagineering and Walt Disney Animation Studios discuss bringing the worlds of Disney animation to life in Disney parks around the world, including such projects as World of Frozen in Hong Kong Disneyland, Zootopia in Shanghai Disneyland, Fantasy Springs in Tokyo Disney Sea, and Tiana's Bayou Adventure in Magic Kingdom and Disneyland. There's been a lot of coverage on these different, and this is again at the premiere stage, 3:45 to 5 p.m. on Friday, the August the 9th. There's been already a lot of coverage of these different places in the park, so I'm interested to see what else they can bring to this panel. And with it only being an hour and 15 minutes, and they've got to cover so many different places with so many different stories, and there's such different stories themselves, I'm interested to see what this panel is going to include. And if we get some more background information, maybe we get like a secret from each of these different places that maybe the fans don't know. But again, I think This one, if I was there, I might pass on this one, just because we've gotten a lot of coverage of them lately, and there's been a huge focus on the different experiences, especially internationally. And I think you're presenting this to fans that are in the United States, where we've not seen as much as far as expansion. So and maybe this is kind of getting you geared up for maybe what's to come. And I know that billions, I think 15 or 16 billion dollars is going to be spent here in Walt Disney World, and a couple of billion, I think, or million over in Disneyland. But this one would be tough for me because we're not going to these parks like very soon. It'll probably be a bit before we get to these parks and experience some of these lands. But because we don't really have anything like this in Disney World or Disneyland, I think that's where it's kind of going to struggle a bit for me. So Imagineering is always interesting to listen to, but I think this would be one of the events that maybe I'd find something else to do. And this is right around dinner time too, so like right before dinner would start. So I think this panel would not be one high on my list, but only because we really have gotten a lot of that stuff lately. The next one is at 6:30 to 8 p.m. on that same stage. It is the last one of the night over on the premiere stage. It's called Disney Princess the Concert. Be our guest for a magical evening celebrating the music of Disney princesses, heroes, and yes, even the villains, performed by Disney Broadway and animation stars as Disney Princesses the Concert returns to D23, the ultimate Disney fan event. Um, this one would be cool. I think seeing some of the Broadway actors and actresses do their thing uh, in the same setting where you wouldn't have to go to different shows is enticing. That'd probably be like doing a number from each of their shows. Hearing the villains sing would be a lot of fun. You might even get like a little sneak peek at maybe a show that's coming that's not yet been announced. So maybe that's where they're heading with this one as well. Who knows, right? This one though, I think as well. I think I'd have to pass. It's interesting to me, but I think as we read through some of these other events that are taking place, that maybe we can find something a little bit better as far as the event's concerned, or maybe we'll see. I don't know how this timing of things all works out, but maybe this is the time that probably we would have done a lot of shopping or kind of looking at the different booths and things like that. So once we get further and further in the schedule, maybe I'll be like, oh, you know what, that Disney Princess concert, maybe that was a good idea. So yeah, there's a lot going on. There's a lot to discuss, a lot of different panels and things to visit, exhibits, experiences to have there. But this one, I'm not saying that I'd be super hyped for, but I think it'd be interesting to go see some of these things as far as the concert is concerned. We're moving over to the Walt Disney Archives stage. Now, this one I think would be fascinating. I think this is the one where you got a lot of the Disney people that are Disney historians are really fascinated with the history of Disney and animation that would go directly to this stage. So at 10:45 a.m. to 11:45 a.m., you actually have what's called, so how do you direct animation anyway? Um, it looks like as far as like timing of events, it looks like they do a pretty nice job of spreading them out to where you could attend most of them and not miss out on some of them. But then there are other things that you would be missing out on. A lot of the big like panels and things like that, they're going to run back to back, but you also have to factor in that there is time to go shopping, time that you might have to go eat, time you might want to go to Disneyland or Disneyland's California Adventure. There might also, I think there's an Angels game that they are throwing in as part of a ticket package that you could have bought for D23. They also have different like signings, different sightings of different experiences. They've got the different booths from different people. I know, like for instance, like Lou Mongello and WD Radio have their own booth. Her Universe usually will have different things. The different like third party vendors that you would normally see, like a Joffrey's, they'll have different things that are going on and experiences that are happening. So you've got a lot of things that you got to consider. When I say that, like there might be things that you miss out on and big panels that you miss out on, it's not the end of the world, I don't think, unless you're, some people pay for this and want to go to all of them, and you pretty much can. They don't run like into each other quite often, but some of the events will leak over, or you might not get good seats in some because you're waiting in line or whatever it might be. But D23 usually does a nice job of spacing the amounts where you can usually get to every single big panel that you want to get to. But I'm just kind of putting them in like the order of like, would I want to go if I had shopping or things that I wanted to do that day? Would I skip out that panel to maybe go and do some of the other stuff that I want to do with D23? So that's kind of what I'm talking about when I say that, maybe this is like, so for the concert series, for instance, there might be, it's later at night. Maybe there's some shopping or different experiences that I want to get at before. That might be one I skip out on. But so yeah, this next one. So how do you direct animation anyway? Live action directing is easy to picture, but this panel featuring directors of some of your favorite Disney and Pixar animated films will review the oft and misunderstood craft of animation, directing, and the many challenges that come with this role. I think this would be fascinating. I think hearing the people that create and bring your favorite stories to life and direct that and manage those films would be a lot of fun, and people who they work with. And I'd love to hear from inside out directors and producers. I'd love to hear from the Pixar cast and or sorry, the producers and directors, just because Pixar has crushed it with all of their movies pretty much. So I'd be interested to see, like, how do you bottle up that magic all the time, right? I think you think about different legends in the game, and actually, Inside Out, the day of recording this, Inside Out has just passed Frozen 2, I believe, as the number one grossing animated movie of all time, which is incredible to think that it's passed probably the biggest franchise in all of Disney's history, which is insane to think that we're experience a time and we're alive during a time that we got to experience Disney's two biggest movies within like a span of a decade. So, yeah, just incredible work from the Frozen gang and the Inside Out gang. And I think being able to hear from them, if those are some of the producers and directors that are included, I'm assuming that Inside Out's director, which I believe she's Inside Out director too. I forget her name. I think it's Han. Meg. Inside Out 2 director. Sorry, I'm looking this up. Kelsey Mann, that's what it is. Kelsey Mann, who produced, who directed, and it's him. Sorry, his debut, directorial debut, and produced by Mark Nielsen. Screenplay by Meg Lefauve. I don't know how to say that last name. And Dave Holstein, and story conceived by Mann and Lefauve. Kelsey Mann, his debut. I think it'd be interesting to hear just how much that means to him, because he just shattered a bunch of records and passed a ton of different movies in the box office. So I think this panel would be one, especially if they're on it, and some of the directors and stuff like that for Frozen or like Coco. I think these would be interesting people to hear from, because they bottle magic constantly at Pixar. 12:45, you've got the Muppets. So it is called The Muppet 70, a glamorous Miss Piggy retrospective. Join the Walt Disney Archives for a fabulous look back on the last 70 years of the Muppets, but mostly Miss Piggy. Let's dive into the Muppet vaults to uncover nostalgic artifacts, along with how we preserve this collection today. Muppets have a huge fan base. I can say that I don't really follow the Muppets much, and I didn't really watch it growing up. I like them. I like the Muppet Show in Hollywood Studios. I think that they're good characters. I don't know if I'd go out of my way, if there was something to do during this time, that I would go out of my way to watch this one. And again, I think with different things that it could collide with, I'm not sure that this would be one that I'm marking up on my list. So it runs to 145, and the 30 years of Toy Story, for instance, started at 130. So I think I'd be like, you know what? I'm not going to watch the Muppet stuff. Probably going to go to Toy Story and enjoy that, because I think that, I'm a much bigger fan of Toy Story, and it was something that I grew up with more than the Muppets. But I think that would be an interesting panel as well, to hear the stories and how they continue to preserve the stories with the Muppets in the parks, in the movies, and in the shows that they do. 245, Walt Disney and El Grupo, a journey through Latin America. And this is described as join a panel of Disney historians for a look back at the impact of Disney's Latin America research trips during the 1940s, followed by a glimpse at how these journeys continue to inspire contemporary Disney artists. So this probably has a lot to do with like the Latin inspired films like Encanto. I think you could even throw Coco in there, even though I think that's kind of a different. I mean, Latin America, I think more South America, where and I know Latin America influences Mexican culture as well, obviously, but like I don't know. I feel like this would be more focused on like the Brazilian artist or some of the artists for like an Encanto that experience these different things um, in South America and how that Latin culture. I mean, Latin culture in general. I think getting to know how that inspired, and I'm assuming this would be huge for especially in California. We got a lot of visitors over there that might be of Latin American descent and really want to hear how Disney was influenced by the Latin American culture and the different trips that Disney took down to Latin America to research some of the things that he brought to the Walt Disney World parks because or Walt Disney World parks, the Walt Disney parks. So I think that would be fascinating. I think this would be one that I would be very intrigued by because I think we don't really understand how much unless we go and see how purposeful Disney was with some of the things that they've built here in Walt Disney World and Disneyland that are influenced by Latin America culture. So I think that would be awesome. At 5 o'clock, making a Goofy movie, The Road to Lake Destiny. I think this one will be incredibly popular and crowded. This is August 9th from 5 p.m. to 6:30 on the Walt Disney Archive stage. Making a Goofy movie, The Road to Lake Destiny is the creators behind the Goofy movie phenomenon reunite, reminisce, and share clips from the new documentary about the incredible origin story of this beloved cult classic. I don't know if that documentary is out yet. That sounds cool. Didn't know that. It's been a really long time since I've seen a Goofy movie, but this thing is it was always a very popular movie when you got Max and Goofy. So I think that that will be interesting. I think hearing from the cast and hearing from the creatives that were behind this movie as they reminisce. It's always fun to hear like the cast members and crew reminisce on the different times that they've had producing and creating these films because there's so many great stories that come from it, from people that have touched the Walt Disney Company in so many different ways. I know, like for instance, when Richard Sherman was still alive and he was doing a lot of these events, and he wrote tons of music for different movies. Just hearing the because he's had the ties with Walt Disney, because he knew Walt Disney, it was so fascinating to hear stories that they had encounters with some of these people that are almost mythical in a way for the Walt Disney Company. So this one would be awesome. I think I would put this one on the list as well. Heading over to the backlot stage at 10:15 a.m. behind the summer shenanigans with the Phineas and Ferb creators. Didn't watch a whole lot of Phineas and Ferb, but this panel is described as join Dan Povenmire and Jeff Swampy Marsh, the behind the beloved animated show Phineas and Ferb, as they look back on the creation and legacy of this pop culture phenomenon. Hear behind the scenes stories and get ready to laugh. They'll have some ties to the park as well because there's been a lot of Phineas and Ferb included inside of the parks, but they also work with Disney Channel. It was around when Disney Channel was still a really big thing, and now they've kind of moved into this Disney Plus space. But Phineas and Ferb, I mean, it was right after my time really getting into Disney Channel, so I don't know too much about Phineas and Ferb, but everything I do know from it, it sounds incredible. I'll probably go back and watch it at some point just because I've heard so many great things about it. And we used to play the game that was over at Epcot. I don't know if it still exists at Epcot actually. But Friday, August 9th, 10:15 to 11:15 on the backlot stage, you can go listen to the creators and the masterminds behind Phineas and Ferb. I think this would be pretty on high on my list as well if I was a big Phineas and Ferb fan. If I was personally there, probably not as high until I watched the show. But it's pretty interesting that they're doing Phineas and Ferb. I like that a lot. 12:15 over on the backlot stage, you've got Disney Epic Mickey, rebrushed the return of a beloved classic, wield the paintbrush once more in Disney Epic Mickey rebrushed out this fall. Join Disney Games Epic Mickey creative director Warren Spector and more special guests for a conversation that delves into how this beloved classic adventure came to life. So I'm guessing this is a video game. Um, right? I don't know what this is. I've never heard of it. Disney Epic Mickey Rebrushed. Okay, so it is a video game. Oh, it's out now? What? Pre-purchase. Oh, no, it's not out yet. Oh, it's a new game coming out September 23rd. What? What is this? Disney Epic Mickey Rebrushed brings the magic of Disney to life in vibrant 3D platforms. This beautiful remake, so it's a remake, sends Mickey Mouse on an epic journey through Wasteland, a realm of a realm of forgotten Disney characters. As Mickey, you will dive into the fantastical world and, armed with a paint and thinner, shape your adventure and fate of this alternate world. Every stroke of your magic brush matters. Use paint to restore beauty and harmony, or thinner to alter your environment and uncover hidden secrets. I had no idea that they were recreating this game, and I don't even know when the first one came out. This is fascinating. I had no idea they were doing that. I mean, I knew that the Disney was really starting to put some money and investment into video games, but like, I don't think I ever played this game when it was out originally. It looks great. Like, it looks like you're walking through fantastical worlds, kind of almost. I mean, to be honest, with your paintbrush, you're kind of walking around, kind of like you are with Kingdom Hearts a little bit, in a Mickey inspired game. That's cool. Awesome. I didn't know that. So yeah, that'd be fun. If you especially if you're a video game person, you really like Mickey Mouse, which that would be me. I think this would be awesome to go hear from. Um, just how this adventure came to life, and why they're refurbishing it and why they're bringing it back. And it's going to be on PlayStation 5, so it's going to be remastered. It's going to be in high depth. I mean, that's awesome. I love that. I did not, I'll have to watch like trailers and see what it's all about. I've never heard of that game before in my life. So it's pretty interesting. Next up on the list, Disneyland foods today and tomorrow. Thanks to Walt Disney himself, dining has always been an essential part of the Disneyland experience. Join the Disneyland Resort chefs and Pam Brandon, co-author of the official Disney Parks Cookbook series, to learn about the early days of Disneyland food scene, today's methods for concept creation and menu development of fan favorites, and a look towards the resort's culinary future. This would be fascinating, especially because if you've not been to Disneyland over in California, their food is the best in all of the theme parks that we've been to so far, and that includes companies outside of Disney, obviously, because we've only been to two of the Disney theme parks in the world, but comparing it to other theme park food as well, and including Disney World. Disneyland easily takes the cake, and I would be fascinated to see the history of food. And I know Walt Disney said that that this was a good theme park experience. It was an amusement park, but the more they could add for as far as people not having to leave to enjoy another experience, like a fine dining experience or a hotel experience, which is why they built Disney World, the better that this company would be, and the more successful that Walt Disney himself would be, and the company itself would be. So the fact that they are doing a panel for an hour, 2:15 to 3:15 p.m. on a Friday, to talk about food, my goodness, I hope they have snacks there, because I'd be starved and I would be wanting to eat everything, and they'd be talking about food and showing food. And this just sounds like one of the best panels that would ever exist. So this would be very high on my list, if it's not high on your list already. At 4:15, Disney Lorcana trading card game, past, present, and future, presented by Ravensburg. So they're going to talk about the new Disney trading card game, and it's become very popular, and a lot of people collect them. I collect them myself. Join Ryan Miller, Disney Lorcana senior brand manager and co-designer, and friends from the Disney Lorcana team as they explore the past, present, future of Disney Lorcana TCG. Expect behind the scenes looks, sneak peeks, and exciting announcements of things to come. So again, here's a panel. You'll be getting a lot more announcements and details to come, for the Lorcana trading card game. And I love Disney Lorcana. I think the artwork is beautiful. I think it's a lot of fun. I've never played like Lorcana, but maybe they'll do like a video game of it. That'd be a lot of fun too, kind of like Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon did. So I love this. It's 4:15 to 5:15 on the backlot stage on August 9th. So you can go see more about Lorcana, and they've got a ton of Lorcana like signings and different things like that coming up on the schedule as well. So jumping next, 6:15, the last one on the backlot stage, is Walt Disney Treasures, personal art and artifacts from the Walt Disney Family Museum. Be among the first to see Walt Disney Treasures, personal art and artifacts from the Walt Disney Family Museum, a new book which chronicles the legacy and legendary of the legendary American artist, storyteller, filmmaker, and entrepreneur through the iconic objects that represent his remarkable life. For the first time, explore more than 125 of Walt Disney's most treasured objects, some never seen before in the public. From the Walt Disney Family Museum and Disney Family Archives, this visually stunning book explores Disney's celebrated life through artifacts that depict the multiple facets of his personality: family man, entertainment and animation pioneer, technological innovator, and visionary. Go behind the scenes with rare objects, new research, and discoveries, and see rare Disney family footage. This would be like right up there at the top. Seeing the artifacts, seeing things that have never been seen before that influenced Walt Disney and the parks, count me in. I love the books that they write about Walt Disney, so I'm hoping this book is affordable and is on shelves where I can buy them. They might even be on shelves right now, and I just don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about, but this sounds fascinating. It says first to see. So a new book's coming and it chronicles all these things through different artifacts. So I think that would be fascinating. So definitely would be high on my list to go see at D23. Over on the Hyperion stage, we're going back to 10:30 a.m. The costuming artistry behind Disney experiences. Join Disney Live Entertainment costume designers as they share the design inspiration, creative process, and up close details behind costumes worn at Disneyland, Walt Disney World, Disney Cruise Lines, and more. This would be fun. I worked at Disney. I know a lot of the stories behind some of the costumes, but I don't know them all. I think it would be fascinating to learn more about why they think they need to design the costumes the way that they do. And a lot of people are getting new costumes as we speak. Emporium and Main Street just got new ones. So I'd love to hear kind of like the influence behind what's going on at the parks and what influences them as far as costume designs. Tiana Bayou Adventure, they really didn't change their costume as much. It looks like Splash Mountains, except they added like a hat and like a little yellow, like almost like a bolo tie or handkerchief like thing. But yeah, this would be fascinating to me. I don't know if it'd be, I think it would be one I'd have to miss if there was something going on at this time. So it wouldn't be like up on my list very high. Next up is National Geographic's Extreme Adventures. So Disney, I think, purchased National Geographic or like pretty much owns a majority. All right. So my my laptop died and I didn't know if this would continue recording, but it obviously does. So that's nice. I'm glad because I didn't lose all my progress. But yeah, Extreme Adventures, Natural Geographic, Disney. owns a majority stake or owns them now. Hear from some of National Geographic's most extreme adventurers, from climbers to base jumpers and photographers of the wild, on what drives them to the literal edge of the adventure space to make incredible discoveries and document one of a kind feats. This one would be pretty good. I'm not sure it would be on my list if there was something going on at this time, which there would be. So I'm gonna go with no. I wouldn't really see this, but I don't know. There might be some people out there that are fascinated with National Geographic. They have beautiful pictures, and I think they do a really nice job of displaying our world and how beautiful it is. But yeah, this might be one that I'd have to miss as far as the events are concerned. I don't think it would be incredibly high, just because I just there's a lot of things that I would rather see, I think, to be honest with you. So, next up on the event schedule, sorry, because my laptop crashed and died and whatever happened to it, I've got to reconfigure and find the place in which I was, which shouldn't be too difficult because it's right here. There we go. National Geographic's A Real Bug's Life live at 2 p.m. No, thank you. I don't want to see bugs. It sounds awful. But it'd be interesting, I guess, if you're into insects. 2 o'clock to 2:45, not a whole lot of time, but join insect experts, enthusiasts for a live show and tell of insects featured in National Geographic shows A Real Bug's Life, narrated by Aquafina, which is second season is coming soon. I know a lot of people like this kind of stuff and watch that stuff, but if I had to sit there and watch bugs in real life, I'd rather do anything but. This might be the worst one. This might be the last one on my list. I've got no interest in seeing bugs. I've tried to watch that documentary because I knew Aquafina was doing it, but yeah, it just doesn't do it for me. This is not my thing. So if you like this kind of stuff, do enjoy that panel. I will not be there with you. The pioneering women of Disney animation. This sounds really great. I would love to see just kind of the history of women in animation. There needs to be more representation of women in Disney animation and elsewhere across the globe. But this is described as the Walt Disney Animation Research Library shines a much deserved light on some of the women behind our favorite Disney animation classics with a look at their artwork and other creative contributions. Sign me up for that one. I think that would be fantastic. I would love to see who all can we can spotlight as far as women in this workplace and with Disney's animation studios, just because they don't get a lot of light. They really don't. Like when we think about some of the most famous of the 1990s, as far as directors and Pixar is concerned, we don't really see a lot of women. So I'd love to see just in meet maybe and listen to them talk about their journey as women in animation, because I know it was never easy for women. It still is not easy for women in many workplaces. So I'd love to see that in the spotlight that is shown on them. At 5:15, from book to screen, how best-selling novels become hit TV series and films. This would be pretty interesting. And Hulu is actually the one that is marqueed here. Join creators, producers from Hulu's The Handmaid's Tale, the Disney original movie Out of My Mind, and the hit anthology series Goosebumps, and FX's Shogun as they discuss their creative processes and share how their teams and artists bring such each story to life. Always been fascinated by that concept of how they bring books to life, because a lot of times there's a big struggle. But recently, I'd say Hulu and Netflix do a fantastic job of bringing books, Game of Thrones, for instance, to life on the big screen. And I've heard the same about Handmaid's Tale. So I'd love to hear that. I think that would be pretty high on my list as well, because I think that's a fascinating concept. Spotlight stage. In the spotlight, morning focus at 9:20 a.m. The spotlight stage kick off the day with our host Ashley Eckstein, Brett Ewan, Christina Ariel, and Rayvon Redding as they preview the day's events and give a sneak peek into the spotlight stage and programs across D23. So, spotlight stage sounds like it's going to be more of a very quick, interchangeable type stage where they're doing fun different things very quick so you can get on to your next event. But they're really just highlighting things that are happening at the event, because the next one's called Bring the Magic Home with Sunny Chanel and Ashley Eckstein. So Ashley Eckstein, if you don't know anything about Ashley Eckstein, she was the voice of Ahsoka Tano for the Clone Wars, and she's also her universe designer. And Sunny Chanel, I believe, does the a lot of the Disney home design and home decor, and so does Ashley Eckstein now. Like that would be really cool, because I love the idea of botanical gardens, like a living museum of Disney in your home, interactive art exhibition, which this is all going to be. This is awesome. Join author Sunny Michelle, or so she's an author. Sorry, Sunny Chanel and Ashley excited to discuss fun ways to bring the Disney or magic of Disney's design into your home. So I think they collaborate. It's underneath Disney Publishing, so that's odd because like I didn't know they did a book. I do apologize. I had no idea. Magic Home with Sunny Chanel. That's a great name, by the way. Sunny Chanel. 10:30 Disney Lorcana, a trading card game creating a glimmer. So more information on Lorcana. Beauty and the Beast be part of the Broadway show at 11 a.m. So they're actually going to be doing a little bit of like a sneak peek where you get to participate and see Belle, the opening musical number of Beauty and the Beast. So that's pretty fun. It says all skills welcomed. Are you going to get up and like dance? Like, do you get to dance with Belle? I think that's what that means. That's kind of cool. Very interactive, Disney. That's a lot of fun. I think that's great. So um, yeah, like I think this spotlight stage is a pretty good one to go to if you want just a quick fix of what's going on and like, you know, see what they've got spotlight. And that's why they call it the spotlight stage is because they're bringing a small sample size of things to this stage that you can go and enjoy and see what it's all about, right? See what, maybe you're missing. See some things that like maybe you would have missed had you not really ventured into some of these panels that do exist because some of the panels are a little bit deeper, they're longer, right? So there's a lot of that kind of stuff, I believe. So, all right, next up on the schedule for the spotlight stage is going to be, sorry, I got all mixed up, evening wrap up. So again, they bring back those hosts where they recap the day's events, which is pretty fun and interesting. And then at 3:30 or 3 o'clock to 3:20, Soaring with the cast of Fly, meet an incredible couple from the National Geographic feature Fly, who not only share a life together, but also share a passion for extreme sport of base jumping. That's fascinating. That sounds terrifying. Those crazy people. That's fun. I love that. So yeah, spotlight stage, pretty interesting. It brings up different people that you might not else get to see somewhere else. So there's a Disney Plus. It just says Disney Plus, so I'm guessing it's like different areas around the pavilion. It's called Disney Plus Pavilion, where you can meet Bluey and Bingo. I don't know who Bingo is, but I know who Bluey is. And you can meet them at different times. So 10 a.m., 11:15 a.m., 12:45 p.m., 2:15, 3:15, or sorry, 3:45, 5:15, and 6:30. Pixar and Walt Disney Animation Studios, they have a Pixar Ball giveaway. What does that mean? What are they doing there? They're just giving away a Pixar Ball. Arrive at the location of the show floor experience 15 minutes prior to the start of your reserved time slot. So I'm guessing you get a Pixar Ball who you need to get a reservation for. I have no idea. It's like a bobblehead. I have no idea. Like they're giving away things. You can meet Mark Hen, Disney legend Mark Hen, at 10:30 over there as well. I don't know really where this is. It just says Pixar and Walt Disney Animation Studios. I think there's a location on your map that would have it's where all these are going to take place. Live demonstration by Disney Animation Ink and Paint Team. Walt Disney Animation Studios exclusive pennant at 11:30 a.m. So again, more giveaways. Signing at 12:30 p.m. Disney Animation Director Ron Clements. I don't know who that is. 1 p.m. intros and outros, the art of the Walt Disney Animation Studios title cards. Ooh, that's fun. That'd be pretty cool. I wonder if you get like that'd be cool if they did like postcards for each of that would be a lot of postcards, but for each of the intros, like the Disney Castle and the outros that they have for each of the Disney movies. That'd be awesome. Signing Elemental director Peter Son at 3:30 p.m. At 4 p.m., live demonstration by Disney's Animations Ink and Paint Team. Let's see. Does it say what they're doing? Ink and Paint Team celebrates the studio's heritage by no, they're just painting things and doing different art pieces, which would be cool. Because I guess you'd get to experience those things and see the amount of detail and art that goes into some of these creations. Disney artists are always fascinating to me. Anytime they show up to the art of Disney or inside of the parks, we always make it a must do to go and see at least what they're doing because again, some of like the local artists here at Walt Disney World, like they're very friendly. We actually have a friend that is friends with a lot of the artists over here in Walt Disney World. Who he goes and meets with and has lunches with and talks to them and from like Kincaid Studios and different like pop Funko, like he's met a bunch of pop Funko artists. So I think that would be fascinating. I think any time that you can go see Disney artists, I think that would be a lot of fun. And then at 4:30, there is another Pixar ball giveaway, which it says you have to have a reservation for. So I guess you would get more information um, for that when you do get your ticket and information and details as far as coming to the event. So all D23 members would get information regarding that stuff. So that's very cool. At 6 p.m., Walt Disney Animation Studios exclusive pennant. So again, another item that they're doing as far as a giveaway is concerned, um, which would be very interesting. Again, I want to see what that pennant looks like because that sounds cool. Uh, they have a Lucasfilm exhibit, I guess, that is titled Lucasfilm Experience Stagecraft, ILM Stagecraft. I don't know what IL. I mean, I think it probably has something to do with Lucas, but Lucasfilm presents the magic of ILM Stagecraft, the technology used to bring to life the worlds of the Mandalorian, Ahsoka, and more. Here from the luminaries, such as Doug Chang, the creature team from Legacy Effects, and more. Look behind the scenes. Okay, so like the Sarlacc and all of them, the people that create those monsters. So you get to hear from. It sounds like special effects and like sounds that they make for these monsters. That'd be fascinating because you would get some really interesting stories, I imagine. Um, from that. So cool. And that's 10 a.m., 11 p.m., and 2 p.m. on Friday. And that's the whole weekend. Lucasfilm is doing that. So there is a booth or experience where you can go see that. And that's pretty awesome. Talent Central. Again, these are just labeled like this. And it doesn't like when you click on them, it doesn't really say like what it is. It's just like a presentation. So I'm assuming there's like a room where these all take place and inside different rooms. So I'm assuming this one would just be titled Talent Central, and you can go in and see these things at 10:45 a.m. Renowned Disney artist, former Imagineer Eric Robinson, signing art prints. Yeah, actor Daniel Logan. Oh boy, young Boba Fett, baby. You can go see him. I guess he's going to be speaking. I would guess. I don't know if he's because usually if it's a signing, it'll say it. Meet actor. Well, that probably means he's going to be on stage because I can't imagine that they would let Daniel Logan meet a ton of people because there'd be so many people in that line to meet Daniel. So ah, that's fun. That's awesome. Yeah, it usually tells you like to meet, to greet, to get signings, to different things like that. So, Imagineer at 12 p.m., Imagineer Greg Pro, Executive Concept Director, signing Rise of the Resistance art. Ooh, that's fun. So, he had a huge hand in the Rise of the Resistance. 12:50, which is the ride here at Walt Disney World and in Disneyland. 12:15 p.m. Povenmire and Jeff Swampy, which are the creative directors and producers from Phineas and Ferb. I'm guessing these are all like meet and greets, actually. Like it might actually be because it says meet them. So maybe people are meeting Daniel. Like that's wild to me. Like they let people stand in line that long. That's crazy. Which it makes sense. I've heard them. You've been able to meet people. So this, I guess, is where it takes place. Renowned Disney artist, former Imagineer Eric Robinson, once again signing art prints at 1:15. Marvel artist Brian Crosby signing poster of his artwork. Okay, so I'm guessing you get a complimentary poster, free giveaway, one per guest. Director and themed entertainment development of Marvel Studios. Fascinating. I don't know what that job means, but it sounds cool. Um, Imagineer Jeremy Fulton, senior graphic designer, signing fine art prints. A free giveaway, one per guest. Complimentary fine prints of his artwork. That's nice. That's cool. Grab a photo with National Geographic's Bertie Gregory and Mariana Van Zeller. At 2:45, Leonard, and that was at 2:30 p.m. 2:45 p.m. Leonard Maltin and Jesse Maltin, film historians and Disney fans. I don't know if I know them. I wonder if they've got a picture. No, I don't know. Does anybody know who that is? Imaginary, or sorry, at 3:15, Imagineer Greg Pro is coming back to sign more Rise of the Resistance art. Legendary Pixar writer director Andrew Stanton signing Toy Story artwork. So he worked on Toy Story. Ooh, that's cool. 4 p.m. Walt Disney Animation Studios. Ron Clements. What did Ron do? Do we know? Ron was doesn't say. Ooh, you get a lithograph with him. That's fun. They give you a lot of stuff. I guess if you pay for a ticket that expensive, they give you some stuff. Walt Disney Archives at 4:30. Kevin M. Kern and Mike Bukoff book signing. What book is it? Let's see. Oh, it's the official Walt Disney quote book. I think I have that actually. Huh. You'll need to purchase the book in advance. Fair. It's fair. So they'll sign your books. That's fun. That's at 4:30. 4:45, Jeremy Fulton returns to sign. 5:15, Disney legend Martha Blanding and Tim O'Day signing their new book. Ooh, a new book from them. Hmm. Martha Blanding with Tim O'Day. Groundbreaking Magic. Authors of Groundbreaking Magic, a Black Woman's Journey Through the Happiest Place on Earth. That sounds fascinating. I'm going to have to buy that. Sounds like a good book. All right. 5:45. Former President Walt Disney Imagineering Bob Weiss is signing his new book. That's awesome. I didn't know all these people had new books coming out. I have to buy some of these. Dream Chasing by Bob Weiss. Ooh, it's forwarded by Bob Iger too. You'll need to have purchased a book as well. They don't give you a book. Team members from Lorcana signing opportunity. So the team members that do the creative for Lorcana cards are going to be signing some Lorcana cards and Lorcana things. That's cool. I like that. And then over at the Bitsy Disney, whatever Disney Bitsy is, what is Disney Bitsy? It's at 9 a.m. every day. I don't know what it is. 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. So this is a whole day thing. Explore the world of Disney like never before with Bitsy Disney. Bitsy Disney characters respond to swipes, tilts, taps, and cute sounds and reactions at every interaction. Inside the Bitsy pod, collect 30 iconic characters. Experience classic Pixar and Disney friends. Come join us in the booth to learn more. I have no idea what a Bitsy Disney is. No clue. That's interesting. Disney Epic Mickey refurbished. So they're going to have a stand where you can actually play the new video game that's been refurbished and remastered. Disney Pinnacle by Dapper Labs. D23 exclusive digital pin collecting trivia quests. What is that? I like pins. Start your digital pin collection. What? With Disney Pinnacle by Disney. Visit our booth and answer correctly to more digital collect. I might have to look that up. Is that a thing? Is digital Disney pins? That's wild. ECG Infinity Gem Collection, one-on-one Loki Scepter reveal, and Infinity Gem Workshop. What is that? Witnessed the unveiling of one-of-a-kind Loki Scepter. A stunning Marvel and ECG creation. This icon features a 20.26 carat natural sapphire encased in hand blown glass. Oh, so you actually get Loki's scepter, and it's made from jewelry. It's a gem. Okay. Whoa. Hallmark keepsake artist ornament signing at 2 p.m. House of Sillage. What is a House of Sillage? What is that? I know this is a lot of me of going, what's that? Be the first to experience Mickey Mouse and Friends, the newest fragrance by House of Sillage. Okay. So a new fragrance. Luxurious Disney cosmetics and candles. All right. So you get some makeup and get some fragrances, cologne and perfume, Disney cosmetics, candles. Ooh, in celebration of our love for Disney, stop by for a free gift and snap a pic in our Disney booth. Maybe like a sample. Joffrey's has stand 9 a.m. coffee tasting of Disney Sorcerer's Apprentice Mickey blend. So at 9, 12, and 3, you can try some Disney coffee. Lionel Trains, exclusive Lionel Trains photo op with the Disneyland Railroad boiler. That starts at 9 a.m., runs through the event. Live at World of Disney, the product experience. Meet the artist Ashley Taylor, Stacy Aoyama, Alex Rieger Waters, and Pam Brandon. Are these like okay? Yeah, so Pam Brandon was the author of the official celebrate the cookbook. Okay, so they're like different. They do different things. Okay, because at 10 a.m. on Saturday, I'll just kind of spoiler alert. Book signing with Nika Noni Rose, who is, I believe, the voice of Tiana. Right? She the voice of Tiana. Yeah, I think so. Because I know she's the one that sings the new song in the Bayou Adventure. Precious Moments has their booth from 10 a.m. through 7. They're sorry, 8 p.m. So there's a lot. Ravensburger, Lorcana cards, 4 p.m. Oh, you can actually play the game at 4 p.m. Cool. Rock Love Jewelry will also be there. Roosevelt's meet and greet. So you get to meet some of the creative team from Roosevelt's, which is the shirt company, at 5 p.m. Sunglass Hut, 1 p.m. You can go see um, the artist who creates some of the Sunglass Hut sunglasses and glasses for Disney. Target, Bullseye's Play Shop. So exclusive enamel pin giveaway. That's interesting. Welcome to Bullseye's Play Shop, where the magic of Disney and the wonder of Target come together for a one of a kind experience. Step inside the collection of a new exclusive enamel pin each day. So each day, like Target, the shopping place, not Target, some random person is actually giving away an enamel pin. So I didn't know that Target works so closely with Disney. Thomas Kincaid will also be there, 9 a.m. and 2 p.m. It looks like their booths are open. So um, and that's every day. So like starting from Lucas, it looks like Lucasfilm. Well, no, yeah, starting from Lucasfilm, it's all the same. So we probably won't read those again. Each talent central has different people coming. Kind of like looking through here to see Ali Wong on Saturday, Percy Jackson, cast members from Percy Jackson photo op. People from Raven's Home, photo opportunity cast members from Bob's Burgers, animation, Lorelei Bove, Brittany Lee, Griselda, Sestrana Winata, Lime. Oh, that's a long name. Cast members from Wizards of Waverly Place will be available. Producers from Futurama will be available. And this is over again at the Talent Central. So Talent Central is where you can go like get signings and things because looks like the same people that we talked about. Zombies 4, 10:30 a.m. Dawn of the Vampires. Let's see. The Percy Jackson photo ops at 12:30 on Saturday. Raven's Home photo opportunity cast members 1 p.m. 1:30 is the Bob Burgers producers and cast members. 2:15 is if you want to go get pictures with Wizard of Waverly Place cast members. Cast members from producers of Futurama at 2:45. 3:15 former president. Well, that was same on Friday, but 3:15 you meet Bob Weiss. 4 o'clock cast members and producers from The Simpsons. 4:30 Marvel Comics CB Sabolsky, Jason Aaron, and Humberto Ramos signing opportunity. Again, 4:30 on Saturday. 4:45, you got Becky Klein and Stephen Vagini book signing from the archives. 5:45, artists from Lorcana signing cards, and then Disney historians Leonard Maltin, Jesse Maltin are also signing stuff and doing stuff on 6 p.m. on Saturday as well. Kind of looking through Saturday, everything else is the same. So the Hallmark, House of Sillage, Joffrey's, Lionel Trains. The other thing that's different, live at World of Disney, Anika Rose, again, book signing. You have to purchase her book. She's got a kid's book coming out. She'll sign at 10 a.m. 1 p.m. book signing by Martha Blanding. Okay, so and Tim O'Day they're returning as well. Book signing with Pete Doctor and Don Perry. And then at 4:30, Jess Fuchs and Steve Thompson. And then Precious Moments is the same. They're not doing a Disney Lorcana Ravensburger pop-up thing at all on Saturday. Rock Love Jewelry, Roosevelt's, Sunglass Hut, Target, and Thomas Kincaid will all return that day as well. So we've moved on from Friday. We just read Saturday. What's a little different there? You know what? Let's go ahead and do Sunday with all of those booths too, because they are somewhat different, but not. So that Talent Central, where you can meet some of the directors and cast members and things like that. Pixar's chief creative officer, Peter Doctor, is signing artwork celebrating Up. Ooh, that's cool. So you'll get like an Up piece of art that they'll be signing. That's awesome. Renowned Disney artist and former Imagineer Eric Robinson. He's signing every day. So there's different times to meet Eric. 10:30, the 2024 and 2025 Disney ambassadors from around the world. Oh, so you can actually meet all the. I actually just saw a video of Mark Daniels, who is like kind of like an MC, fun facts with Mark Daniels kind of guy on TikTok, and he works with Disney some. I actually see him in the Indiana Jones show too. But 10:30, you can meet the ambassador from Walt Disney World and all the other parks. That's cool. Laura West, lead concept designer, signing fine art prints. She's an Imagineer. I wonder if does it say what she's worked on? No, it just says Imagineer, concept designer. Okay. Daniel Logan's returning at 11:30. Imagineers Amy Young and Stephanie Jasmines. Disney legend Tom Naby, Walt's Tom Sawyer. Renowned, Eric's got a lot of time here. Eric's signing all sorts of stuff. 1:30, Once Upon a Studios filmmakers, Trent Corey, Dan Abraham, and Eric Goldberg. 1:45, you can actually get signed copies of Ashley Eckstein and Sonny Chanel's book. Imagineer Laura West, 2:15. Michael James Scott, Aladdin's Genie on Disney's on Broadway, 2:45. 3:15, again, Amy Young and Stephanie Jasmines. Leslie Eworks. I believe Leslie Eworks was like the Ework family, I believe, goes way back with the Disney family. I want to say they didn't get along way back in the day either. I could be making that up. Disney historian and filmmaker Leslie Eworks might be a different Eworks family. Signing the Imagineering story. Voice of Donald Duck, 3:30 on Sunday. Tony Anselmo. 4:30, Brett Ewan and author Ryan Marsh signing copies of their new book. And then 4:45, more Lorcana people signing some cards. We're gonna, I guess, skip down to this area. Live at World of Disney, there's only one of those, the product experience. That's a book signing with Bob Weiss again. Weiss. And yeah, Precious Moments. And the only one that's not got anything on Sunday is Roosevelt's. It looks like there's nothing from Roosevelt's on Sunday. Interesting. Okay, we're going to go back now to Saturday. So I hope that's not too confusing. We're going to go back to Saturday, and we're going to talk about their schedule of events for some of the bigger stages and some of the keynote stuff and marquee events. So their Honda Center event, this is the biggest event of, I believe, the whole D23 Expo. This is the one everybody's been waiting for. This is the one that's gotten the most hype on the internet, on podcasts, on blogs, Instagram. This is the one that's also going to have the most coverage, media coverage. There's going to be a lot of things happening for this first event. And again, this is at the Honda Center, and it's a big, kind of like an arena Honda Center, I guess is. And you're actually going to sit and listen to the Parks and Experiences team talk about different things that are coming. So I believe this is the one, if I'm not mistaken, right? This is Horizons, right? Am I lying about that? Like, I thought this was the one that was titled Horizons. Okay, we're gonna go with it is Horizons is the one that I'm talking about. It's 7 o'clock to 9 p.m. on Saturday. And I believe the event's called Horizons, which is showcasing the different experiences coming to Disney experiences. So parks, cruise ships, anything else? Adventures by Disney usually. Yeah, like the world. We're talking about the things coming to the theme parks, coming to our new cruise ships, new cruise lines, new boats, new experiences around the world. What are we getting? And it is explained as join us on Saturday, August 10th at 7 p.m. in the Honda Center for the immersive celebration of Disney experiences around the world, accompanied by a special lineup of musical numbers, surprise appearances, and a few familiar faces. Disney Experiences Chairman Josh D'Amaro will host this exciting showcase. Um, Woven together by the theme of music throughout the show, fans can expect updates on new and highly anticipated projects across Disney experiences, along with new ways for generations of fans to connect with their favorite Disney stories. So, this is the one that is Horizon. So, I was correct. 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. on a Saturday night. Everybody's going to be tuning into this thing. On the East Coast, I mean, it'll be 10 o'clock when this stuff starts to come out for the new experiences coming. Um, People they won't live stream this, I don't believe, because this is the big boy. This is the one. This is people pay money to go see the other things, but like this is the reason why people show up to D23. Every other year, they do this experiences, right? Panel and like show. And last time it was there was not a lot. There was not a lot. And there's been a lot of scrutiny for Disney since COVID, right? I would honestly say the Chapek era of Disney brought more hurt and more harm to the company than I would say anybody else as far as CEOs are concerned. And the pandemic, of course, didn't help, right? I think what people don't realize is, you think back to like years past and years before 2020, D23s before that, there was a lot of growth happening and there was a lot of changes. And we knew we would eventually get to a point where like you can't just keep changing everything, right? You'd run out of things to change. You run out of room. And I know that sounds funny, but especially in other Disneyland parks, a lot of them are landlocked, or the government won't let them build more. So that's one thing we have to consider. Another thing that you have to consider too is like I said, like when Eisner uh, was replaced by Iger, Bob changed a lot of things, right? So Michael Eisner, he was good with the parks, not great. I think Eisner was much more focused on what can they start to bring as far as experiences and for the guests. And he was the first one to really launch into this. Iger was, I mean, I think of Iger as more like the merger, right? He seemed to be the one that he was the big dreamer. He was into entertainment. He was in the entertainment industry forever. He was not so much focused in parks. So he knows the importance of like Marvel and the IPs and bringing them into the parks. But then he really took off with the parks. Like I really felt like he did a fantastic job with the parks. I feel like we got a lot of those ideas stapled down. Avengers Campus over in Disneyland, that's all Bob Iger, right? Um, all of this Frozen stuff in the international parks, that was Iger. There was a lot. There's been a lot of things that Bob's done and with his team have done, the presidents of the parks, right? Josh stepped in and Chapek kind of ran this thing into the ground. Chapek was ousted by the board. Iger comes back. He's got to pick up a mess, right? It would take years for him to clean up the mess that Chapek made. He's now starting to come out of that, and I think he's given more leverage and leash to Josh. And I think Josh can only do so much. Like Josh can only he can only announce things as they come and as they're approved by Bob. And then now you've got the announcement that Bob probably doesn't go past. I think his contract's 2026, right? Where he doesn't go past that. And Josh seems to be the heir apparent, him or somebody else from other entities, right? I think I forget the lady's name that's in the as far as president of entertainment over there at Walt Disney World, or sorry, Walt Disney Company. So I think you've got a lot of interesting things coming down the pipeline. I think that there was such a focus on the international parks, they had to get those done. Now there's a shift back to the United States, and they know what's coming. They know exactly what's coming. There's a park heading up the street about 30 minutes that's going to wipe the floor with a lot of different theme parks. There's Universal is building one of the best theme parks that exist in the world. And I think Disney feels that, especially domestically, because they can't. And this is what's tricky, right? Is Disneyland in California is severely landlocked. I think it is probably the hardest one to expand because of the size of property they have there. Until they can purchase other pieces of land around there, There's not much that Disney can really do in that area besides change things, and people don't like change. People feel very nostalgic towards some of these things, as far as the parks are concerned, especially in Disneyland because it was the original. It's the OG. Walt Disney World is was the blank canvas for so long, right? And it still is. It still has the biggest amount of land. It still has the most amount of land that can be built on still. It has places you can change, things you can flip over. Like it's got so much room for change, and that's why billions and billions of dollars are heading to Walt Disney World. This is the D23 where I think you get a lot of the confirmed, here's what's coming, here's where we're starting to invest in Florida. It's not all going to come at once, trust me. There's things that they'll announce in 2 years that they're kind of sitting on because they're waiting because they can't just announce all of this right away. There's no way. Like there's no way they'll react to what Universal does. Um, they'll sit on some of the projects because they want to see how can we react to Universal Studios and what they've created with some of this investment. So I think that's ultimately where I think you see, you know, the change because Walt Disney World is the one that needs to change, and it's not gonna all happen at once. It'd be ludicrous to think any company would come in and just all of a sudden just throw everything they had as far as creative at you and say 2026, 2027, 2028, 2029, because Disney would then be locked into some of those things, and they'll want to change them as time goes on because other things are gonna come up that are better. So long story short and long-winded, I know, like a rant, but this is the big one, right? This experiences showcase. This is where people are hoping to fall in love with Disney again. I love the way that Lou Mangella. I just listened to an episode with Lou where he was talking one to D23's, I think president or the person that is like the director in behind D23. But he also did his own where he did like a kind of like a things they're looking forward to maybe getting at D23, some announcements. Um, and he talked about this idea where people need to fall in love with this company again because it's been a strenuous relationship for the last 4 years. Like the last 4 years have been rough between fans and Disney. Like there's been a lot of changes, there's been a lot of announcements, a lot of anger, um, a lot of reaction, people going away from it. They've announced some things that have really not helped themselves. Um, but I think this is where we start to kind of mend that relationship, right? And we as Disney fans hope that's where it is, right? Because there's a lot of things that need improvement. Marvel, they fell way off. I mean, Marvel movies used to be the big thing. Now, when Marvel movies are released, it's like back burner. Like maybe I'll go see that. I don't know. Maybe if I have time. So it'll be interesting to see what Disney does in these experiences panels that will entice people to want to come back to the park, come back to Walt Disney World, spend their money, hard-earned money, right, to come to these parks and experience different things. They're taking steps, I think, back towards the right direction, but I think it'll take some time. And I don't think we're going to get a massive amount of announcements, but I think we're going to get enough to kind of curb that Universal is becoming the ideal park here in Central Florida, at least. So interested to see what that panel is, but again, that's 7 p.m. to 8:30. That's a pretty short time. They're going to incorporate music and stuff like that. Like this is going to be this high intensity, high energy. Let's see what Disney has. I'm excited to see some of the changes that can be coming to the different parks. Premiere stage D23 Masquerade, the Ultimate Disney Costume Contest. So they're actually going to have a costume contest. That'll be fun. Celebrity judges. Percy Jackson and the Olympians. So you're actually going. I went backwards. I think I pulled these up, and then now all of a sudden they're. Percy Jackson Olympians join the cast and the creative team of the Disney Plus original series for a conversation about their epic season one journey, and that their or season one epic journey. And they're looking forward to as they embark on their new adventure. So that is Percy Jackson. He's got his own thing. The animation greats plus Bob Burger's Futurama and The Simpsons presented by Hulu. So Hulu's got their own presentation. And again, these are all on the premiere stage. Marvel Animation sneak peek at 12:45. Percy Jackson at 3:15, and then the animation grades at 5:30. The Marvel Animation sneak peek 12:45 to 1:45. See what's coming next for Disney Plus from Marvel Animation with special guests and first looks at hotly anticipated series, including Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, Eyes of Wakanda, future seasons of What If, X-Men 97, and more. Think this is where you really start to see Marvel announcements. But they're supposed to be scaling back, so they're really going to focus on some of the things they're working on currently. I think it's not going to be a whole lot of forward looking. I don't think for Marvel. I actually think that'll be an underwhelming one because I just because of what Kevin Feige said, because of what Iger has said, they need to reel Marvel back in and really get back to. And Kevin Feige was actually at an event where he was speaking, I think this last weekend, where he said that the next era is going to be focused on the mutants, so X Men. Um, that they're going to lean back into the Avengers again. I think Young Avengers might be coming, but yeah, I think they're going to focus on the stories they already have, developing them more, the ones that were successful, and then going back to the drawing board with this mutants era because the what I guess the time jumping one or whatever the hell they called this last one was just not good. It really wasn't, and I think multiverse that's what it was. It was just I think it lost so many fans because of that. It was a disaster. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with Marvel. I'm interested because it is sad because I really did enjoy Marvel, but it had really gone downhill ever since. So a beautiful tomorrow, just a dream away. Disney at the 1964-65 New York World's Fair, and this is the first event at the Walt Disney Archive stage. So a great, big, beautiful tomorrow. You get to learn more about the New York World Fair and what Walt Disney did there, directing Disney. So join Pete Doctor, Chief Creative Officer of Pixar, and author Don Perry for this conversation of Pete's new book, Directing at Disney, the original directors of Walt Disney's animated films, accompanied by never before seen images offering a look back in time. So, looking back at the old classics that Disney created, Marvel Comics celebrating 50 years of Wolverine. Look back at 50 years of Wolverine, Marvel editor in chief C.B. Cebulski and writer Jason Aaron as they dive into the legacy of Marvel's most popular mutant and what is next. So we'll get some more Marvel information there. I'm guessing it has a lot to do with this mutant era and with Wolverine and Deadpool releasing this week. You're going to get a lot of well, actually, it'll probably be releasing, I guess, the day that this goes live, this recording. So tell me how it is. I have gone and seen it on Friday night. So that should be fun. Um, that is at 2:30. At 4:30, stay tuned. You're watching Disney Channel. Join beloved Disney Channel stars on the Walt Disney Archive stage for a look at some of the most iconic series and movies that created generations of. This would be a high on my list as well. Like this would be two. This would be so much fun. Like Disneyland food up there is number one, maybe. This would be next. Like, I mean, obviously besides the Honda Center ones, but these two, oh my gosh, like this is like my childhood. Stream this one, Disney, please. It's 4:30 to 5:45 on the archive stage. Gosh, that would be awesome to see because Disney Channel was my childhood. The 90s and 2000s. Those are the Disney Channel kiddos. Magic Journeys, Memories of the Sherman Brothers. So that will be a very, very emotional one. Greg and Jeff Sherman, sons of composers Richard and Robert, sit down with the Richard's longtime friends for stories about their fathers. So, oh man, that gave me goosebumps. 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. Man, there's not going to be a dry eye in this place. I mean, I'm just getting emotional thinking about this. Um, Thinking about the dynamic duo that those two were, the memory. Gosh, I didn't think that. Wow, I don't know why this is getting to me. The incredible stories. I hope they do a documentary on the Sherman brothers like now. Kind of post. It's so sad, but post mortem and talking about Richard and Robert and just the things that they brought right to. And Jeff Sherman was actually I think he wrote on Boy Meets World as well. But man, like this would be a must see. I think like Saturday night. This is the one I'm carving out right before. Oh man, it sucks. That's right before it runs into the experiences show too. That's weird that they did that, like with the Sherman brothers, with how big they have been, um, in the music of Disney and the storytelling of Disney. Like they are, icons in the Disney lore. So I'm shocked that they're actually overlapping this one with parks and experiences. I didn't think they would do that. Backlot stage at 10:15. This one would be number one on Ashley's list. I wouldn't even have to ask. This is definitely number one on her list. Grey's Anatomy 20th celebration. Join and celebrate the cultural phenomenon that is Grey's Anatomy, the longest running primetime medical drama in TV history, from gripping surgeries to unforgettable characters. Join the staff of Grey Sloan as they reflect on 20 years of storytelling. I don't know who all shows up to that. If Ellen Pompeo shows up to that, or you got Patrick Dempsey. Like, this could be really cool. I mean, I love Grey's Anatomy. Ashley really loves Grey's Anatomy. She would be crying the whole time through. Like, they'd be like, "Lady, stop crying." 10:15 to 11:15. It is an hour, so you get to hear from the Grey's Anatomy cast, and it'll be some of the present, but also I probably feel like some of the ones in the past as well that have left the show. So that's cool. 20th anniversary, backlot stage. 12:15, Abbott Elementary, class in session. So you hear from the Abbott Elementary crew. 2:15, exploring new parts of the mind behind the design of Inside Out 2 and Dreamy Surprise. So I believe a Dreamy Surprise is going to be their show, if I'm not mistaken, right? I think there's like a Dream Factory is like their new show that's coming out. It's going to be picks or sorry, Once Upon a Time or Once Upon a Costume. So again, hearing about the costumes in Disney film and also in Disney parks, I believe. Pixar's Win or Lose Watch Party. What is that? What in the world does that mean? Be one of the first up to bat to watch two full episodes of Pixar's first ever original. Ooh, Pixar's first ever original series, Win or Lose. Filmmakers Carrie Hobson, Michael Yates, and David Lawley will kick off the party and join the audience after the screening for a Q&A. Go Pickles. What? What does that mean? Win or lose? That sounds cool. I'll have to watch that. Hyperion Stage, 10 a.m. Unusual artwork from the Walt Disney Animation Research Library. At 11:45, The Road to Cherry Tree Lane, the Walt Disney's Mary Poppins. I feel like Mary Poppins always has some kind of thing. Join Grammy Award winner or winning producer and Disney music historian Randy Thornton as he shares how Walt's daughters Diane and Sharon Davy Crockett, Disneyland Vista Records, and Annette Funicello were all crucial intersections on the road to Cherry Tree Lane and Mary Poppins. Cool. I like that. That's unique. That's different. I like that. National Geographic photographers, getting the shot. So listening to some of the photographers talk about getting those beautiful shots that they get in National Geographic, probably the best photography that ever exists. National Geographic investigates. I'm assuming that's going to be a panel. National Geographic investigates. Listen to Emmy Award nominated investigative reporter Mariana Van Zeller discuss her hit series Trafficked and subjects and experts from the Stanford prison. Experience cult massacre, One Day in Jamestown, and Killer Lies, chasing a true crime con man. Oh, wow. So like some of the biggest events of human history and sociology. That'd be fascinating. Screening and Q&A, Big City Greens, the movie Spacecation, 4:45. Spotlight stage in the spotlight, which we already discussed. So on to Sunday, Disney Legends Award Ceremony. That's going to take place at the Honda Center at 5 p.m. So all the Disney Legends will be awarded then. So you can go see some of the most famous legends be awarded. I don't want to say Patrick Dempsey was actually awarded last year, to be honest with you. The Grey's cast was. Evening shows at the Honda Center for D23 Ultimate Pass ticket holders only. There are no reservations or standby queues available. Oh, yeah. So you cannot just join the queues. You actually have to have reservations. You have to have the Ultimate Fan Pass, sorry. So you can't actually go to the event unless you hold the Ultimate Fan Pass. I believe that's every single Honda. Yeah, that's every Honda Center event. Since 1987, the Disney Legends Awards program has honored gifted individuals for the significant impact that they've had on the Disney legacy. So they're going to be honoring their class this year, 2024. Premiere stage at 10 a.m. Disney Princess creating Tiana's world. So I'm guessing that's going to be Tiana Bayou Adventure geared. Yeah. Join Anika Nani Rose, Tiana's series director, which Tiana, I believe, is it's the new Disney Plus series. Director Joyce Sherry and creative executive Carmen Smith for an inspiring conversation as we peek into all ways Tiana's iconic story and vibrant world continue to be brought to life. And we'll get the announcement of Tiana's show, I imagine. Jolly Holiday, a D23 musical celebration of Richard M. Sherman, so a tribute to him as he has recently passed, and they have not had a D23 since. Disney character voices inside the studio. So I'm guessing you're going to get some voiceover actors discussing some things. Take a trip behind the scenes with Disney character voices and join us in the studio for live recording sessions with your favorite Disney characters. That's fun. And it's got Mickey as the poster. So you're going to hear from like the voices that currently are the voice actors for probably the Fab Five and some of your other favorite Disney characters. Simulcast 2024 Disney Legends Award Ceremony live for the Honda Center. So you can actually go to the premiere stage and watch a video of them in the Honda Center. So that's cool. So you don't have to have that ultimate fan ticket to get into it. Walt Disney Archive stage, Disney Legends in Conversation at 9:45. 11:45, Disney Chasing 4 Decades of Walt Disney Imagineering. At 1:45, Donald Duck's 90th Quacktacular. So I'm assuming the voice of Donald Duck will be joining, or voices and have once voiced him. We're celebrating 90 years of Donald Duck with special screenings. Never before seen art from Walt Disney Animation Research Library, the Disney animation artist who brought him to life, and even the voice of Donald Duck himself. Magic After Dark, the story of Disney's nighttime spectaculars at 3:45. This one's interesting to me because there's been a lot of rumors that there were going to be some more Disney nighttime spectaculars added or changed. Rumors of a nighttime parade, rumors of Phantasmic changing at Walt Disney World, um, nighttime parade at Magic Kingdom. There's also been talks of, I think Paint the Night is currently the one at Disneyland, and that might change too. A lot of different rumors as far as night shows. So the fact that they're doing this one is interesting to me. Maybe there's some announcements that come with this one. Fireworks above the castle become an iconic kiss goodnight at Disneyland and every Disney park filled with night with light, music, water, and fire. Join Disney's nighttime magicians to hear the stories behind their favorite or your favorite After Dark shows. 5:30, Charles Phoenix's big retro Disneyland slideshow. What? A pop culture time travel tour to the early days of Disneyland, from the backstories and glories of classic and long gone attractions at Main Street USA, Adventureland, Fantasyland, Frontierland, the original Tomorrowland, and all new Tomorrowland in 1967. So Disneyland walk through the past through a slideshow. That's cool. Backlot stage, 10 a.m., designing the MCU, Marvel Studios Visual Development, 12 p.m., to be announced panel, Disney Entertainment. That's weird. That's strange. Details to be announced, 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. on Sunday. What you got going on there? That's kind of weird. 2 p.m., 60 years of Disney ambassadors, the stories you've never heard. So I'm guessing all the Disney ambassadors will be on stage then. 4 p.m., creating Marvel Studios and ILM Immersive's What If, an immersive story. 6 p.m., down the rabbit hole, the Disney you didn't know. What? I guess there's some secrets. Join Disney archivist and authors Kevin M. Kern and Stephen Vigini for a journey down the rabbit hole as they uncover astonishing Disney discoveries, connections, and little known facts that will change everything. Well, at least some things you thought you knew about the Disney universe. Oh, that's cool. 6 p.m. on a Sunday. That's late, but that's a lot of fun. Hyperion stage inside the Walt Disney Studios, a cinemagical history. 10:15, 12:15. National Geographic's Ocean Explorers. Terrifying. I don't want to explore the ocean. Scary. National Geographic's Queens of Steam at 1:45. At 3:30, Restoring Disney Animation Classics. And at 5:15, Sounds Delightful with Stacia Martin. And then we read the Spotlight stage. So that is a very long run through of the different events. Sorry if that was very quick and long winded or I spoke too quick. There was a lot to cover, but that is all the things happening at D23 as far as panels and some of your featured pop up, I guess, artists and companies that work with Disney. You're also going to have different booths of different companies that work with Disney. You're going to have different shopping opportunities. I imagine like Funko will be there, Her Universe, Joey Chow, like all of your famous Junie and Burke, Loungefly, like they'll all be there doing different things and selling different merchandise. So anything and everything, anybody that touches Disney, like I imagine Starbucks will have some things there as well. Like they're really going to lean into some of their vendors and some of the travel agents that work with them, some of the podcasters, some of the bloggers, some of the content creators will be there. I imagine all of them will be there. But I'm hoping to make it out at one point. I'd have loved to go this year, but again, it just did not work out as far as timing to buy the tickets and also buy the plane tickets and talk to Ashley. And then the tickets were sold out. So I'm looking forward to going at one point. Are you guys excited about D23? What part did I read out that you were very excited about? Maybe some things that you're not so excited about. What are some of the experiences that you hope are announced? What are some things that you need on your wish list as far as D23? Final announcement, we are going to be doing a wish list kind of episode. I'm going to hopefully have Jordan on, who does all sorts of other podcasts with me. He's been on one episode before. I think we talked last time about some announcements as far as the D23 kind of thing, where some of the things were announced for Disney World. But yeah, I'm really excited about having him on. We're going to go through our kind of like our wish list. We'll talk about some certain projects or things that might have been speculated. We'll talk about some of the speculation that's been online if we think that's coming to fruition. We'll probably talk some Marvel, talk some Star Wars, talk some X-Men, talk all sorts of different things on the next episode. Or I guess would it be the next episode? I think it's the episode after this one that we're actually going to be doing that, because this one drops Friday the 26th. Yeah, August the 2nd. We'll probably just have kind of a normal episode where we'll talk a lot about HHN Hollywood or Halloween Horror Nights for Universal, and then any park updates that we have before, because they've been announcing some other things before the event actually takes place at D23, which I found very interesting because probably you don't have enough time to announce some of this stuff. But there have been some announcements about changes that are coming. I'll give you my reactions and stuff to using Lightning Lane, because we're going to try that out this Sunday. But it'll be a collection of just kind of your normal updates and some of the stuff that we talk about with the parks and stuff around here. And then uh, on August 8th is when I'm hoping to release or not August 8th. I'll probably release it earlier. I'll probably do the 7th. So on the 7th, I'll probably release an episode that is like our wish list, because August 9th starts the event. So I don't know. It just depends. It might be August 2nd. I don't know. I have to figure this out with Jordan. I have to schedule it. I think I'm thinking it wrong because like August 9th is the event. So that means I probably would need to release it August 2nd. So probably do that then. Probably skip this update video and then do August 9th August 2nd for our next episode, where we talk all things that we hope come to D20. Let's do that. Let's do that. Well, I'll get with Jordan and we'll talk D23 and some of the things that we're excited about Disney announcing. But thanks for listening to this one or watching this one. I know it was a really long episode, but I wanted to get into like what D23 is going to include this year, so that way you can start to build what you want from it. Or if you're going, I'd love to hear from you. What are you excited about? What are you visiting? What are some things that you been in the past and you're like, oh, I need to go see this booth or that booth, or shop here, shop there, go to Disneyland, whatever it might be. Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe over on YouTube. Comment, what are you excited for? Over on Apple or Spotify, rate the podcast. It helps people find it. Also leave a comment. That'd be great. Are you excited about D23? What do you hope is on our wish list? What is on your wish list? You can leave that in any of the comments. Go to TikTok. We're on TikTok as well for short form videos. We've met behind the castle. But yeah, I think that's it for this episode. Thanks for listening to episode or watching episode 4. Again, we went through D23 and talked a little bit about Lightning Lane. But until next time, thanks for watching this video. We hope to see you guys in the next video, or I guess listening to the next podcast. And we hope to see you guys at the parks.